This is Medford Sykes here from Singer Tour Singer, and I'm here with Roxy Music singer Bruce Hirsch, and we got a couple questions for him this afternoon.
Hi, Medford.
Bruce, I thought I would start off the interview just by asking you, what are you listening to today?
It took me by surprise. Actually, I don't listen to single songs. I do sometimes, but I like to listen to albums. I'm listening to recently Ian Hunter, All American Alien Boy. And this morning I listened to a beautiful album called Night Flight by Justin Hayward. And I guess those were the latest things, that I had on to make an impression on the day.
Excellent, excellent. Do you remember the first time you started listening to Roxy music?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I do. And I don't really remember, although there are lots of groups that I really love, I don't really remember the first time I heard some of the other bands that I like. But when I heard Roxy music, I was sitting in my friend's car, and I think it was his older brother's car. And the song, My Little Girl, came on by Roxy Music. And I heard, the drum beat, and I was kind of drawn in, and I was almost waiting to be disappointed when I heard that. And then I heard, Phil Manzanera's little riff, jigga 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 jing, and I was like, wow, I'm like really getting more drawn in. And then the thing that I remember was Andy Mackay's saxophone just blending right into Brian Ferry's voice coming into the song. And I was just overwhelmed by the smooth sophistication of the group. I felt it was so vibrant and it was so distinct and so unique that I really was drawn into probably the Manifesto album, which was like, I had not heard of Roxy music up until that point, and I was listening to so much music at that point.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's obvious that you love Roxy music. How would you describe your passion in singing these Roxy music songs?
It's a study. It's definitely a challenge. It's not like your typical song where you sing, your verse and your chorus and your verse, your chorus. You have a guitar solo. You go back to your verse and maybe like another guitar solo and an outro. I think it's very, very challenging, and I really would have to tell you that, Brian Ferry leaves little breadcrumbs along. It almost sounds like he's Moriarty, and he's trying to confuse you. But you can't imitate him. You have to recreate the songs. No one can really sing like him.
Yeah. When did you go all in, just from being a listener to crossing the line into to really rehearsing the songs and learning these songs and just making them your own?
Yeah, I've always been a Roxy music fan. I've always been a Brian Ferry fan. And I decided, with all of the music that's going around and just hearing lots of stuff, again, there's just the absence of this incredible group. You never hear them on the radio. It's hard for them to find a place on the format, on satellite radio. You could go to Deep Tracks, Classic Rewind, First Wave. Maybe they'll throw you a bone and give you Avalon or Love is a Drug or More Than This. But they never go deeper into numerous and an incredible volume of great songs by the band. And I just, for some reason, I felt like I was swept away, and I was drawn into a cause to expose how amazing this band is to people and to play their tunes.
Yeah. So what is it that makes this band so amazing, and Brian Ferry's songs, Roxy music? What makes it such an important project to you?
Well, it's because there are just so many. I think there's 4,352,834 David Bowie tribute bands. As we're talking, maybe something is coming over the meter with a couple more. But, I just felt, again, at that point, this band deserves, at least in the New York area, the New York metropolitan area, for people to be able to go out and to hear Roxy music songs, to hear Brian Ferry songs. You don't want to feel alone. Usually when you're a Roxy music fan, you're kind of like all alone at your table. You can't sit at the Bowie table with people. You have to sit at the Roxy music table. It's a little bit forbidden fruit for a lot of people.
You bring up the David Bowie tribute bands. When I say the word tribute band, or you hear that word, what comes to your mind?
Well, Medford, I'd like to show you the door when I hear something like that. No, I'm just kidding. The name tribute band is horrible, and I was asked to sing in some real righteous David Bowie tributes, but I turned them down. First of all, I have hair like Brian Ferry, as you can tell, and not really, but I was asked by some really great musicians in the Bowie tribute to tour if I would consider wearing, a wig. And I said to them, I kind of did that pregnant pause for a second. And then, he said, oh, the guitar player, he puts on a wig so he can look like Mick Ronson. So we all do it. And I said to myself, there's just something so unoriginal, about this. I think the songs should be recreated. I don't think people should dress like, they're heroes. Recreate what they do. Put your own personal energy into it and make it dynamic and unique in its own way.
Yeah, I agree with that. So how's it going so far? Finding other musicians to collaborate with and expand on this project?
Well, I can't get arrested. That is the thing with Roxy Music, but I'm used to it. And I know there's someone out there who plays guitar like Phil. There's someone out there who plays drums and loves Paul's playing and Andy's playing. And those people are out there. I just need to connect with them. But I am really, I am not wavering. I am not teetering from this project. And I have people who have exposed me to people who love all the tunes. Just a shout out to the Brian Ferry fan page run by Gloria Dempsey and Ian at the Roxy Music fan site, two of the largest Roxy Music Brian Ferry sites. They have been nice enough to expose me, to play my videos, and I've had these great phone calls, Medford. But people say, hey man, I would love to play with you, but I'm in Spain. Hey man, I love Andy Mackay's sax playing. I play it all the time. I want to play with you all the time, man. But I live in London or something like that. So it's challenging.
You're gonna have to take the show on the road. Yeah?
I know it's challenging.
So going back to Roxy and your initial interest and love with them. What was it like seeing them live? What was it like seeing them on the world's greatest stage at Madison Square Garden?
It was great. It was, first of all, I felt like I sat there and I said, oh my God, look at all these people, Madison Square Garden. They're all Roxy Music fans. I was just staring at the crowd while some of the songs were playing.
What was that audience like?
It was incredible. People speaking languages from all over the world. And that was what was incredible. I had, Medford, the most incredible conversations with people going in to the garden, coming out while I was there. I wanted to have everyone back to my house. I mean, this was thoroughly an incredible crowd. The men were dressed up so distinguished with Paul Thompson loincloths and Brian Ferry outfits, and the ladies looked brilliant and outstanding, dressed like the album covers. It was quite a scene. And everyone was so happy, wow, Roxy Music, people around me. It was incredible.
It was a vibe.
Yeah.
So where does this army of Roxy radicals exist?
Well, they're all over the place. And what's great about it is, as I start to assemble and further collaborate with other musicians, there are some great gigs, some great shows. All of these people who are at the Garden, they all live in New York City. And there's just an incredible hunger for someone to go out there and play Roxy Music. So once again, I'm doing my best to find people to collaborate, to play with me, so we can gig out in the New York scene, yeah.
So as that process kind of unfolds and you get people on board with you, how can we expect to see you perform in the near future until that happens, until the band kind of...
That's a great question. It's a challenging question. And I'm thinking of doing some one-man shows. I do have some different musicians who want to collaborate with me, but they don't fully embrace the whole Roxy Music catalog. And that's what's challenging, Medford. People know 2-3 songs, they know 4 songs, but it's very perplexing for musicians to play Roxy Music. You can talk to someone and you mention the band's name. It's almost like the robot on Lost in Space when he's like, William Robinson, warning, the smoke comes out the back. They get scared of it. It is fascinating to me how people are just, they're afraid of Roxy Music. Don't be afraid of Roxy Music. It's fantastic. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, that's exciting, Bruce. I've been around music quite a bit, and I don't recall recently seeing such a devotion to a project that isn't getting off the ground just yet. But it's all a process, and the passion is there, and so what do you look forward? What do you look forward towards as the project grows and blossoms, if you will?
I look forward to hopefully touring and going on the road and playing some gigs and once again, just integrating with Roxy Music people. I just enjoy, look, we all have our jobs, we all do different things, but I just think, once again, this is such a righteous cause, to go out and expose the world to Roxy Music and to congregate with people who love the tunes. It's just, I had such a great feeling from the garden, and I still think the importance of the tour has had such a significant carryover, to the entire fan base of the band.
Yeah, it's well, Bruce. It's obviously that you have a passion for Roxy Music and a love for their songs, and I know that you're gonna find some great musicians to collaborate with, share the energy of this amazing group, and I think it's a great story, Bruce. I hope all the parts come together for you, and everything it kind of finds its own place, because it's a worthy project, and they have some great music, and would like to see it come to fruition.
Thank you, Medford. And I just want to let you know and let everyone know that we brought Medford here, like Squib Games. You were like gassed. We put you in 8 different vehicles, okay, standing for the 8 different Roxy Music albums. We brought you to place. We brought you 1,500 feet underneath. We are 1,500 feet under the earth right here in a Roxy Music like bat cave in New York to protect ourselves from horrible music. So after this, you will be returned back in the same way to you're interviewing other crappy bands who aren't as good as Roxy Music.
I will remember the moment. I will remember the cave, and it was a pleasure, Bruce.
Thank you, Medford.
Medford Strikes.
Thank you.
Signing out. Singer, tour singer.
Thank
Bruce
you.
Hirsch, Roxy Music.
Thanks.